Why do good people make terrible decisions together? Alone, each person has doubts. In the room, the doubts disappear. Anxiety becomes urgency. Repetition becomes evidence. The first confident voice gives everyone relief, and relief begins to feel like truth. By the end, no one remembers who actually believed the plan. They remember only that everyone agreed. At Lumen's emergency retreat, 12 thoughtful leaders voted to eliminate the very teams that still understood their customers. Maya almost became vote number 13. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. In this episode, you will learn how groups change the personality of the people inside them, why fear creates contagious certainty, and how authority can hold a group together without turning leadership into control. The emergency began at 6:15 on a Thursday morning. Northstar had paused its expansion payments until the Independent Data Trust was operational. The acquisition target Adrian wanted had leaked the negotiations, then accepted a higher offer from Solace. Lumen now had 9 months of runway. The board scheduled a retreat at a hotel beside the airport. No one called it a crisis. Every slide used the word focus. Marcus presented 3 options. The third cut 48 positions, most in research, support, and clinic implementation. It would preserve engineering, sales, and international preparation. "We protect the engine," Adrian said. The phrase appeared again 10 minutes later. Then again. By lunch, people were saying, "Protect the engine," without remembering whose metaphor it was. Robert Greene's law of conformity describes the social personality, the version of ourselves that emerges in a group. We imitate language, absorb mood, perform belonging, and become more willing to take risks because responsibility is distributed. The change is largely unconscious. We still experience our thoughts as private. That is what makes the group effect powerful. A borrowed certainty still feels like your own voice from inside your head. In the retreat room, fear spread faster than analysis. Anxiety is highly contagious. One person's urgent tone changes another person's body. As the mood synchronizes, disagreement begins to feel not merely incorrect, but disloyal. Greene calls attention to hypercertainty, unusual excitement, or absolute confidence that may come less from evidence than from emotional infection. Maya noticed it in herself. The layoffs were brutal, but clean. 9 months could become 18. Investors would see discipline. The company could rehire after the expansion stabilized. Each sentence reduced discomfort. Lena raised her hand. "If we remove research and implementation, what exactly is the engine learning from?" No one answered directly. The General Counsel said every department had to sacrifice. Marcus said the model prioritized revenue-adjacent functions. Adrian said they could not protect the past. 3 different responses, all carrying the same social message: move on. Maya looked around the table. 2 people avoided Lena's eyes. One tapped a pen. Another nodded too early when Adrian began speaking. Individually, doubt remained. Collectively, doubt had lost status. Greene does not advise becoming antisocial. We need groups. Cooperation produces what isolated talent cannot. The task is to lower our permeability to observe how belonging changes us while retaining an inner point of reference. The healthiest form is what Greene calls a reality group. It organizes around a clear purpose, selects people for complementary strengths rather than charm, allows information to move freely, directs contagious emotion toward persistence, and builds resilience through actual challenge. A dysfunctional group protects its mood and hierarchy. A reality group protects contact with the work. A healthy team is not a room without conflict. It is a room where reality outranks relief. Maya asked for a private break. In the hallway, Lena said, "You are going to vote for it." "I don't know." "You do. You just don't want to be alone when you say no." Maya felt anger. Then, recognition. Her purpose sentence returned. Make the hard words small enough to carry home. The proposed layoffs removed the people who heard those hard words first. Maya opened the notes she had written before the retreat. The evening before, she had answered one question privately. If no one knew my position, what do I believe Lumen must preserve? Her answer was not engineering. It was the loop between families and product. Now the room was teaching her to forget. When the meeting resumed, Maya said, "I oppose option 3. No one moved." She continued, "Not because layoffs are always wrong, because these layoffs preserve the parts that speak and remove the parts that listen. We would extend the life of the company by destroying its ability to know what it is building." Adrian's face tightened. "Do you have an alternative that reaches the same runway?" Maya did not. This is the lonely point at which dissent often collapses. Criticism without a complete replacement feels irresponsible. The group can use that gap to restore certainty. Maya said, "Not yet. Give 4 people 90 minutes and access to the full model. If we cannot produce one, I will vote on the options here." Marcus objected to delay. Evelyn supported it. The spell weakened because one person had joined the dissenter. In 90 minutes, Maya, Marcus, Lena, and the head of support built a 4th plan. Reduce the international program, suspend the acquisition team, cut executive compensation, renegotiate office space, and eliminate 21 positions across layers, including 2 leadership roles. Research and clinic implementation would shrink, but remain connected to every product squad. The runway was 17 months, not 18. The human cost remained real. But the structure preserved the feedback loop. When the full team reviewed the model, people began voicing doubts they had held all morning. The original unanimous mood had contained almost no unanimous belief. Then the conversation shifted from conformity to leadership. Adrian had lost the acquisition. His global plan had consumed time and credibility. Investors who once praised his vision now called him distracted. People are ambivalent toward authority. Greene's law of fickleness explains that followers want guidance and freedom, protection without sacrifice, closeness without losing respect. They can idealize a leader during success and turn rapidly after a setback. Trying to become everyone's friend does not solve the tension. Neither does force. Authority must be earned through legitimacy, vision, competence, fairness, and service to the group. Greene's account of Queen Elizabeth I highlights the deliberate construction of authority under unstable conditions. She understood symbolism, distance, public presence, and the need to embody continuity beyond private emotion. Her authority was not mere title. It depended on how people experienced her judgment and her relationship to the realm. In modern leadership, the same principle appears without monarchy. Vision must reach beyond the leader's ego. Standards must apply upward as well as downward. Sacrifice begins at the front. The leader's tone becomes emotional instruction. Adrian had once embodied Lumen's mission. Increasingly, he made the mission evidence of his exceptional identity. The board asked him to step away from daily operations while it reviewed the expansion losses. He refused, then threatened to resign. No one stopped him. The emotional reversal was painful for everyone who had once drawn courage from him. The group was not rejecting authority itself. It was rejecting authority that had stopped serving anything larger than the leader's self-image. Adrian left the retreat before dinner. The board appointed Maya interim operating lead, not CEO, not founder, and not the title she had once envied. Her task was to execute the fourth plan and rebuild trust until a permanent structure was chosen. She felt no triumph. 48 people would still receive frightening news. 21 would lose jobs. Adrian, who had created Lumen from an idea, had walked out of the company carrying a cardboard box. Leadership did not feel like winning. It felt like becoming responsible for consequences that could not all be made good. Maya addressed the company the next morning. She explained the financial position, the alternatives considered, and why the chosen plan protected the family product feedback loop. She named the executive pay cuts before the staff reductions. She said which facts remained uncertain. She did not call the layoffs a realignment. She did not promise that every remaining job was safe. "I will not ask you to trust the title," she said. "Judge the pattern we create from here. Authority, at its best, is not a performance of certainty. It is the willingness to make reality bearable enough that people can face it together. A leader earns belief by standing closest to the cost, not farthest from it." That afternoon, Maya found a message from Theo. "I heard about Adrian. I'm sorry. If you need context about the acquisition, I have documents that could protect you. No agenda. Friendly. Useful. Timed perfectly." Maya did not answer. The next 2 days tested Maya's authority more than the vote. She met with every person whose role was being eliminated. Some were angry. One support manager asked why executive mistakes had become her mortgage problem. Maya did not answer with the shared sacrifice language approved by council. "Because leadership made decisions that reduced our options," she said. "The pay cuts do not make your loss equal. They show where responsibility begins, not where the cost ends." The manager did not thank her. Authority does not guarantee affection. Greene's law of fickleness is a warning against building leadership on the need to be liked. People may admire honesty and still resent the decision. They may support a leader in one season and withdraw after a real sacrifice. The leader's task is not emotional control of the group. It is consistency between vision, standard, and action. Maya established 3 practices for the remaining team. Decision notes would include the strongest dissenting view. Leaders would spend 1 support shift per quarter. After failures, the person with highest authority would speak first about their contribution. These were not cultural decorations. They were defenses against the court-like dynamics Greene describes: gatekeepers who control information, favorites protected by access, stirrers who turn insecurity into factions, and punching bags who absorb collective frustration. Every organization develops informal roles. Pretending hierarchy does not exist gives hidden hierarchy more power. The reality group makes influence visible and ties status to usefulness, standards, and service. That night, Maya removed the temporary interim operating lead title from her email signature and replaced it with her ordinary role until legal finalized the structure. The gesture was small. It reminded her that authority had to emerge from repeated behavior before the new title could honestly describe it. The practice for today is to write the dissent before entering the room. Before a consequential group decision, answer privately. What do I believe if no one knows my position? What evidence would change it? What value must the group preserve even under pressure? Bring the page with you. You may still change your mind. The goal is not stubbornness. It is to ensure that evidence changes you before mood does. I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. Subscribe and stay for the final movement of Maya's story. She resisted the room and inherited responsibility for it. But Theo understands that authority can be weakened without an open fight. He has documents, relationships, and a talent for making aggression look like concern. The next attack will arrive as an offer to help. Next episode. Teaser. Theo will not threaten Maya. He will express concern for her. He will send helpful documents to the right people, ask innocent questions, and let selective truth perform the attack. To survive, Maya must use aggression without becoming reactive and draw a boundary without giving him the emotional chaos he needs.